Welcome, High Vibe Tribe. This is my YouTube channel, Divine Hippie 2222. Today is gonna be something different. So, welcome to my channel. We are a learning and a growing channel. We're learning how to raise our vibration, how to change our perceptions, and how to bring in the transformation and the ascension and the blessings and everything that 2020 has to offer us for growth, right? So that was the whole purpose of me starting my channel. And I realized I've been doing some reflection. It's like, okay, so I'm reading tarot cards and, I'm saying, yeah, let's learn and let's grow. But who am I? So I figured this was a perfect opportunity for me to give you my spiritual journey resume, so to speak. So, first off, my intention is with a pure heart, from a place of unconditional love, being in alignment with my soul and with the universe and with my desires. So my intentions are to speak about me and my experiences, and that's it, because nobody else is here to share their side. So I don't think it's fair to get into that aspect of it, right? Because this is about me and my experience and what I've... So this is like an introduction. My name is Stephanie. I'm nervous. Bear with me, guys. Thank you. So my spiritual journey. I guess I've always been on it, in all fairness. I was raised in a non-denominational Christian church. I believe it was more spiritual in nature to begin with. Thank you, Unity of Arlington, and the YOUers. Thank you. So that is where, at my church, through YOU, which is called the Youth of Unity, that's where I experienced unconditional love and acceptance, unconditional acceptance. So let me back up. I guess I've been told that when I was about 5 or 6, I guess that's when I started gaining weight. So newsflash, I've had a weight problem. No, I have... I have been dealing with weight. I'm trying to be intentional with my words. I've been dealing with my weight my whole life. And so that's nothing new to me, right? Now, but I was told that about 5 or 6 is when I started gaining weight. So I'm not sure what happened. I don't really have a whole lot of memories as a young child. But I tell you that to then tell you I grew up as well as overweight, being awkward, not quite fitting in. It didn't matter what it is that I did, whether I was in ballet, tap, or jazz, piano, choir, taekwondo, musical theater, gymnastics. I was really good at those things, but I just never felt a connection, right? So then, being awkward and weird and just no sense of style, not understanding people, how people functioned, why I could say one thing to one person and it would be fine, and I could say the same thing to someone else and whoa, not fine. So anyways, I digress. The point of that is just being awkward. and everyone, this is not a who, me, boo-hoo story, right? Because everyone experiences that at a certain point in their life. I believe that. But this is just my story, okay? And so then we move on to high school. And you start spreading your wings. You start testing the waters. You start, that's when I really started learning that the manners and the aspects of consideration that I was raised on were legit, because I was starting to see the consequences of not following that advice. And so, anyways, being made fun of growing up my whole entire life and all of those, where I'm going with that is it brought in compassion and understanding for me, seeing both sides, right? I was constantly made fun of growing up, so I knew how that felt to be on the receiving end of that. So I guess where I'm going with that is, so when growing up, I'm the oldest of three, I realized later on that I was a bully growing up. And I was not very nice to my siblings. And when I was 13, I had this epiphany, this realization that if my friends at school and my friends outside of my house saw how I treated my siblings, would they still like me? Would they still want to be my friend? So that's where I'm going with that. Like, I think underneath it all, because I was being made fun of, I was taking it out on them subconsciously. That doesn't excuse it. That doesn't make it okay, right? That's not where I'm going with that. I'm not looking for approval, right? So I guess at 13, because of all those things that happened to me, I've been on a life mission to be a better person, to be the same person inside my four walls, so to speak, that I am outside of my four walls. And that is what this whole story is about. Looking at myself, okay? Everyone has horrible things that happen to them, right? But you have a part to play in how the situation plays out. You are 50% responsible, negative and positive, that can go either way, depending upon your choice, as to how the situation plays out. And so this is kind of giving you a little background information to then say, so, when I got to be 13 and realized all of this, I was just naturally becoming more involved in church, and I connected with the message, with the people, with the community, even at a younger age. And I always had this desire, this need to be paid attention to. I was following all the rules. I was doing all the right things. And I felt as if I wasn't noticed enough. Now, that's my perception, right? So this is neither here nor there for anybody else. This is just me. So being in connection with that community gave me more options, to, be acknowledged, be recognized, be noticed. I'm growing, I'm developing, I'm doing what I should, right? And so, yeah, it was wonderful. And then, so kind of fast forward through high school, all the ups and downs. Everybody has them, right? You all have that friend who says she's your friend, but she's not really. She kind of works both sides of, doesn't matter. Everybody's got all those experiences at a certain point in their life, right? And I always chose to be like trusting and kind and always tried to be nice. And again, there was the confusion, not really understanding. Like, I found a niche at this point. But even the niche I found, the people were right. But it was like my environment wasn't right. And that has nothing to do with the people, because the people that I'm talking about are fabulous. And, helped me to develop to become the person that I am today. So you guys know who you are, and you guys rock. Anyways, my point is, so everybody's got their experiences, right? Good, bad, up, down, sideways. Everybody has their own lessons to learn. Okay. So I get to, graduate high school, and things have been a little rocky and personal and socially. The last 2 years of high school were rough for me because of things that were going on personally, and not understanding, not having the experience, 1122, not having the knowledge and the tools to find a balance even amongst all the chaos, right? So, where I'm going with this is, so I get to a point where I graduate I graduate high school, forgive me. I'm 18, I graduate, and I'm unfortunately, by no choice of an individual, only by lack of support for an organization, because they never had anybody stick around and go that far. Anyways, long story short is, I was forced to graduate from my youth group at church. And guys, let me tell you, okay, so my WoW viewers out there, you guys are awesome. Even if I didn't know you, even if I didn't see you, you know the experience, you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about. I want to thank every single one of you, whether you were in my conference or in my experience. I don't remember all of that information. All I know, I was in YOU of Arlington, Dallas, Texas, okay? And I was there from probably 93, 94 to 97. Doesn't matter. The point is, if you're a YOUer, you totally understand it. You totally get it. The acceptance, the love, it's just a different environment. It's a completely different environment. And you guys helped to shape me. You guys gave me what I didn't realize I was missing in my life. So Unity, thank you. YOUers, thank you. All is swoovy. Yes. So, anyways, where I'm going with that is, that was such a developmental and emotional connection, and such an important time in my life. And then when there was no following up program for me to, graduate and move into, I had to go to the sanctuary. And this, I don't even remember who was the reverend at the time. That's neither here nor there. The point is, I felt cut off from that connection. I felt cut off from my spiritual path, from my acceptance, from my love, from my environment, right? And the messages didn't speak to me anymore in the sanctuary religious setting. So I stopped going to church because I decided to sleep in. I quit college because it came necessary to make money. And I juggled both for a long time, and it didn't work out, and in my opinion. And those are the choices that I made, okay? Those are the choices that I made. And so basically where I'm going with that is, I was on a new path, looking for something, anything, because I just lost something, right? And I find drugs. Oh, lovely. The funny thing is, I found that unconditional acceptance again for a temporary amount of time. I didn't realize it though at the time. So, I got all involved in that because it was all peace, love, and happiness. Yeah, we're one, we're united. Kind of the same thing, right? As, the YOU experience, only not the same thing. Kind of similar, but not the same thing. So I go through that for several years, lost, looking for, a connection, something like that. And along the way, I find myself going through a sexual assault. I'm raped by a coworker, and I press charges. No, I report it, but I do not press charges because at the time I was scared that I would be found out and that people would come after me. I know that sounds crazy if you've never experienced that or if you've healed from something like this. It sounds nuts, right? But I was worried about the part that I played in that. Now, author's note. No rape victim is responsible, okay? That's not where I'm going with that. What I meant was, in my 20s, my mentality at 20, I was 20 years old. I was at my job. It was a restaurant. And the cook was there and the manager. And they were serving me liquor from the restaurant. I was worried that I would find myself under charges for theft of property, being a minor. That's what I mean when I say I was worried about backlash for me. I didn't think past. I blacked out when it happened. So I didn't think about, other people and how that might affect them. But I did report it. His name is on a report. I am a Jane Doe on the report. So I tell you that it was horrible, right? It was not fun. And if you have experienced that, I hope that whenever you are ready, please find healing for that. It is freedom. It's freedom. Knowing that you're a survivor and not a victim. Okay? So, I tell you that to say I was still lost. I was still lost. And then add on top of that, being so confused and having to process what just happened to me and all the things that go along with that, right? For years, getting lost in the chaos and looking for that connection and looking for that unconditional acceptance and not finding it. But the hard thing is for me as a Pisces, I'm a giver. So I give and I give and I give and I give to the point of being taken advantage of, and I don't even realize it. These are all lessons I had to learn. All of these experiences, right? And I didn't realize it in the moment. I realized it this year. Like, yeah, okay, they're horrible and everyone goes through their stuff, right? So let me kind of backtrack. When I was 13, add more trauma to healing. Everybody's got their family traumas. My family got divorced. That's my family story, so I'm not going to get into that. But add on top of feeling, weird and not being able to make sense of things and feeling disconnected before finding unity. While yours and that, connection, right? Just my whole point is like my whole life building up is just one trauma after another and just one confusion. And it's like I'm walking around blindfolded, right? And so when I get to be about 23, I start to kind of grow up. And I realize that, okay, what do I want to do with my life? Like, do I want to keep partying and having a good time? Because I'm kind of getting to this financial struggle. So, and let's be realistic, this is drugs. And this has been a few years of use, right? So it gets heavier and heavier, more expensive and more expensive. So I got to a point where I was like, do I want to pay my bills or do I want to keep partying? I made the choice to pay my bills. So I have gotten myself off of hard drugs, you know. Anybody who's done that knows it's a struggle. I'm not super fabulous. It was just a choice I made. And so all of this, I'm sorry guys, bear with me. If you know me, my storytelling strategy will all blend together in the end. It's kind of out there. This is, I'm nervous. It's not really planned. And so, but my spiritual journey, lost, confused, feeling that connection, being removed from that connection, looking for that connection again, feeling like I'm wandering around blindfolded, and then finding what I think is, you know, something stable, something good, something that's going to advance me forward in life, like new love. We were young, and I loved him. I love him. Like, definitions are very important. And when I say these words, I'm not just throwing out words, right? Because I understand that everyone has different definitions of the same word. I'm trying to use my words intentionally. I can only speak about me and my experiences. We had a lot to learn from each other. And we really cared about each other. And at times we, you know, were all in, and then life hit. And then, you know, I uprooted my whole entire existence and moved to a completely different environment, atmosphere, area, everything. Knew nothing, no one. And even though I was so awkward growing up, I've always been nice. I've always been considerate. I've always been giving. I've never really had a hard time making friends. This was something completely different. This was the biggest lesson of my adult life. I've always been a good person, or at least I've attempted to. I'm human. We are human, right? So I try to do the right thing, you know, and that's my point in telling you all of that background information. Is, you know, I was raised, you know, right. The way my parents knew how to do it, the best they could, right? And no matter what, it's your journey. And in my journey, I started off like the fool. Like, oh, yay, I'm here for love. Like, this is great. You know, this is a love story. This is wonderful. This is going to be fabulous. You know, we're finally getting what it is that we want. And then life hits us. And it just, I can only speak for me. I'm sorry for the mistakes that I made. I'm sorry for the ignorance I may have shown. Because again, I am 50% responsible. So all I can do is talk about me, right? And that's the whole reason I'm back at my mom's house at 41. When I talk about these experiences, I'm going to tie it all together. I don't know how. I'm hoping. This is, fly by the seat of my pants. So, awkward. But I'm more, I've got it figured out at this stage in my life. At least like appearance wise, maybe. But not internally. Because even though I try to be a good person, I didn't handle everything to the best of my ability, to my highest and greatest good. That is the reason that I'm in the position that I'm in right now. For that, I want to apologize for my part. I surround each and every single one of you in peace, love, happiness, light, and healing, as well as me. I forgive every single one of you. And I ask for your forgiveness for my part in this. I release you to your highest and greatest good. And I ask that you release me to my highest and greatest good. Past, present, and future. Now. Amen. That's all I can do. Did I handle myself 100% well? No. But that's the point, like learning. We're imperfect for a reason. It's kind of where I was going with that is, when I was 16, learning why you're taught to be respectful and courteous. Because growing up, being awkward, being overweight, I was always made fun of for it. I didn't have the boyfriends or, the things like that growing up that most people experienced. My life never seemed to match what society deemed you should be doing. And for a long time, I struggled with that. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that for many different reasons in many different ways. And so where I'm going with that is, that's time has always been an issue for me because I got married late at 35. And I've always wanted children. And that was never, unfortunately, that was never part of our path. Trying to figure out where I want to go with this because I'm only speaking about me and I can only share my experiences because that's my perception and my knowledge, right? So where I'm going with this is I've always wanted children. Through my poor choices, that became an option. And because of all the stress and the anxiety and the bullying and the harassment that I went through, because of all the jealousy and the envy and the lies, I lost the one thing that I wanted more than anything else in the world. And that's on me. Because I allowed all of this to happen in my life without really realizing it. And now it's not that way. I'm healing. And guys, where I'm going with this is like my personal spiritual path resume. I was lost. I was confused. I knew that connection. I was searching for that connection. I was taken advantage of. And I don't mean, yes, I was raped. But I don't mean that. I mean, like, I enabled people without realizing it. Because from my heart, I'm just a giver. I wanted, people are important. You want to do the right thing. So I've always been that, maybe to a fault. And this has helped me to realize that. So that I can still be a giver, but not to a fault. That's what this time has given me. Tower moment after tower moment after tower moment after tower moment. I lost my friends, what I thought were my friends. I lost my job. I lost my baby. I lost my relationship. I lost my house. I embarrassed my friends and my loved ones just by being associated with me. Because of my choices. I've had support along the way. And I'm so, so grateful to you guys for that support. Yeah, so I am extremely grateful because I've had support. My point is, I've been raped. I've finally been pregnant. Never before in my life, till I was 40. Lost my child. Lost everything I held dear. And it made me reevaluate everything. And this is not a pity sob story. This is not a woe is me. But this is my story. And through my life, tarot has always been present. My mom read cards when I was younger. I've always, kind of reached out to different times in my life. So my point is, these things happen for me, right? Because I'm at a place now where I'm starting to see in my life why all of these experiences happened for me. Guys, I'm not just saying words. I'm not just barfing out vague wisdom, right? I was raped when I was 20. So that this year I could be there for someone who in my life was sexually assaulted. I was able to witness and understand what they were going through. And because I'd healed from that, I could share in their moment. I could be in that moment with them. And I could help them get through that moment. Okay? I was able to give back to someone through my own shared experience. This is where I'm trying to go with all the last 35 minutes of roundabout. Sorry. You guys know me. You know how I talk. I will produce a book just to get to a sentence. I'm a very verbose speaker. So thank you for your patience. Thank you. Thank you. I've been made fun of. I've been harassed. I've been bullied. They tried to chase me out of town. They literally did. And I didn't leave because of them. I left because I was unhappy. And I realized that I was responsible for me. Nobody else was. I was. And in that choice, in that moment, I knew that I'd already hurt a lot of people. I knew more people were going to get hurt. And I wasn't looking forward to it. But I was so unhappy from not having that connection that I'd had and experienced for years when I was younger. And I looked for it everywhere. Guys, I looked. I did all sorts of research. I read all sorts of books. I tried all sorts of methods. Neither here nor there. The point is, I've always been on a path for knowledge. And I'm not always everyone's cup of tea. And that's okay. I'm fine with that. But again, I've been on the horrific receiving end of jealousy, envy, severe trauma. I mean, there's more that I could share, and I don't feel guided to go into that. This is already a really long video. So thank you. Sorry. But okay. So with all of that being said, I'm starting to see the patterns come together. I'm starting to see why I experienced what I experienced. Okay. I'm starting to see that the universe put me in these positions as well as my own choices, okay? And I came out on top, no matter how horrific they were. Yes, they were horrible. But I like who I am now today because of every experience I went through. So what I want to do, my mission is to speak, demonstrate, and understand truth in myself and others. Mainly truth in myself. I've learned so much about myself in this last year and a half, healing from my 4+ tower moments. That it is coming together, I went through those experiences because I have the heart of a server. Yes, I waited tables for 11 years, but what I mean is I have a heart for service, to give back to people. I've been through traumas. I've experienced pain, agony, hatred, awkwardness, rejection, and I've experienced these on many levels. That's where I'm trying to go with this, I guess, is many levels, because I'm realizing that the universe put every single one of these individuals on my path for a reason. Whether you supported me or whether you were a teacher and you taught me strength and courage, and it didn't come until later in life, but I had to go through all of those experiences to get to where I am today. To get to this place of wholeness and completion and loving myself. I am on vacation every day of my life. Dirty Heads. I love that song. Guys, okay, so here's something else. I realized a way to give back. When I am having these rough moments and these, and these difficult time frames, right? I have this playlist of songs that I've put together that have helped me. So I'm going to leave them all in the description box, okay? These bands are phenomenal. I don't know if they meant for these songs to be, inspiring to people in these ways, but that's the whole beauty of music. Music has always spoken to me. It's always been a part of my life. And so, where I'm going with this, oh God, I hope I'm making sense. This is scatterbrained. Okay, give me a second. My spiritual path is leading me back around through tarot. And everything I have been through, good or bad, teaches us something. And I'm still on that personal journey of finding that inner person inside of my four walls as being the same person that I show to the world outside of my four walls. But I'm so much closer. I'm so much closer to where I was than where I was. And for that, I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who loves me. Thank you to everyone who supports me, who sees my growth, who sees my progress. And, you know, you guys have all been there at different parts of my life. It may have been for one day. It may have been for a part of a day. It may have been for several weeks. It may have been for fucking months. But you are acknowledged. You are loved. You are appreciated. And I'm talking about, like, even the church community who, you know, bought my bake sale stuff and sent me to Russia, basically, okay, when I was 13. That's what I'm talking about. If you have had a positive experience in my life, thank you for everything. Everything. If you and I have had a negative experience in our exchange, I first off want to thank you. Because of you, I've learned what it is that I have needed to learn. And I'm still learning and still growing. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what my next 40 years is going to be and then some. I can't wait. The best years of my life are not behind me. They're ahead of me. So this music playlist is below. And if you want to, please share this, guys. If you know someone that could use this acknowledgement, this appreciation, this unconditional acceptance and love, then please share the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Share your stories below. If you want to reach out to me, my contact information is below. But I choose to give back through tarot. I choose to use my powers that be for good. You know, what kind of advice do I give if I don't follow my own advice? That type of thing. And these bands are phenomenal. And I don't know if they realize the vision that they had when they wrote these words down. So yeah, check the songs out. If you have other songs that are beneficial to you, that are inspiring and uplifting, please leave them in the comments. Rough life, nobody's life is perfect, okay? Not what I mean. But things are happening for me. And I'm seeing how the universe is navigating everything into perfect union. And you have to be in the moment. But you have to go through that pain. However that resonates for you. You have to go through that pain to come out the other end. You can run from it. And sticking your head in the sand, you're stuck. I choose not to be stuck. As uncomfortable as that is, there's a lot of qualities in me that I have been forced to look at and really work on. but I'm proud of my growth. I'm proud of my accomplishments. I'm proud of my acknowledging that's what's been going on. And I'm proud for you guys too. I'm proud. Okay, this is getting really long. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to be this long. So, basically, this is an introduction to me. This is my story. This is my spiritual journey resume. This is why you should consider watching my videos and listening to my readings and the advice that I give, because I've lived it. I've been there. And I've come through my end of it. And if I can be an inspiration to others who are going through whatever it is that you're going through, then I want to be there for you, because I went through it by myself. I had support. I was there for myself when other people weren't. When people tried to make me feel like I was alone and all by myself and I had no one and nothing to turn to, I had myself, I had God, and I have my support staff. I'm covered. That's me. But if I can be there for you, then don't hesitate to let me know. Because I know what it's like to have your world turned upside down times 10, all within a 6-month period. I know what it's like to be awkward and to be made fun of growing up. I know what it's like to not fit in. I know what it's like to be traumatized. I know what it's like for everyone to talk about you, but no one talked to you. I forgive you guys. And above all, I truly, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. I thank you to each and every single one of you, whether you were a positive or a negative aspect of my life, because you all taught me something. And I like who I am today because of all the lessons and the experiences that I went through. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. All right. So I hope you join it. I hope you join me. I hope you realize we can do this journey together. Our paths may not be the exact same, but they can be similar. They can be parallel. All right, guys. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for your patience. Peace, love, and happiness.